today's dish is a developed version of the ragu sauce, the basic ragu sauce. For the basic ragu sauce, we need an onion, we need garlic, and we need tomatoes, tinned tomatoes. But today we're going to add in some lean minced beef and we're going to develop this into bolognese, and we're going to use some tomato puree, some black pepper, and we're going to use some mixed herbs to season it. We're also going to serve it with some spaghetti. So in the end we will make spaghetti bolognese. Preparing the onion. To prepare the onion, we hold the onion as if the world is in our hands. And we have the North Pole and we have the South Pole. We're going to use our bridge grip and we are going to slice down the middle. Now our bridge means that our fingers are nowhere near the knife, and then we are going to place our onion flat onto the chopping board. And you'll note we're using a green chopping board. We're then going to cut off the North Pole. So we're going to cut off the North Pole, we're going to use our claw grip, and we're just going to cut off the North Pole here, and then we're going to discard all the skin. Now that makes it easier because you can get your fingers in to pull back the layers. So again, as I've said, we are going to cut off just the North Pole here. So North Pole, so it's the shoot. We're going to use our claw grip, and then we're going to get rid of any skin, which is called physical contamination, and we're just going to take a layer off here till we have the two halves of the onion. Now we're going to dice these onions. So what we're going to do is we are going to use our bridge grip again, and as you can see there are lines down the onion, and we are going to make incisions probably about 2/3 of the way. And I'm turning this round so that you can see what I'm doing. And this is important because if you don't do this and you cut all the way through, your onion will fall apart. At the minute, because I haven't done that, it still holds on. Then you're going to give it a quarter turn, and you're going to use your claw grip and you're going to slice across it, and what that will do is that will form nice diced onion. And all you should have left is the root, so there's no waste. So as you can see there, that's nice finely diced onion. So I'm going to show you again. So using the knife, you are going to cut down the lines about 2/3 of the way. Using my bridge grip so my hands are nowhere near the knife. Then I'm going to give it a quarter turn, and I'm going to dice the onion. And there is our finely diced onion, ready to be used. Next is to peel and crush the garlic. So to peel the garlic, we top and tail it. We take the top and the bottom off, straight onto a paper towel. We then just put a little score into the skin, and then we peel the skin off. And then we have our garlic clove. Now remember, this is a clove. The bulb is the one with lots of cloves on it. This is just one garlic clove. We're then going to use a garlic crusher, and we're going to pop the garlic clove inside, and we're going to squeeze really tight, and we're going to use the knife to scrape off the garlic. And again, if the garlic comes out here, you can still use that piece, and you can just use your claw grip and just finely cut it up. And that is your garlic and your onions ready to go into your bolognese. To make the bolognese, first put our onion and our garlic into the pan, and then we're going to add in our minced beef. Now remember, after we've touched the minced beef, it's important that we must go off and wash our hands and put the red chopping board behind the sink out of the way. Once onto the hob, we're going to add a tiny little bit of oil, and then we're going to make sure that the hob, the ring, is on. So we're going to turn it on to about number 5, and as you'll see, the pan handle is safely over the bench, and I'm using a wooden spoon, so therefore it will not conduct heat, so it won't heat up and burn our hands. Now our process now is we are going to saute. So we want this meat to be golden brown, and we want the onions to be nice and soft, almost transparent. As you can see, it's starting to go brown, but we need to make sure all the meat is brown, lightly browned. While the mince is browning, it's time to put on our pasta. We've half filled the pan with water and placed the pasta inside, and then we're going to bring the pasta to the boil, and we're going to make sure that the spaghetti goes right inside the pan. Once all the lean mince has browned, it's now time to add in our tomatoes. Our tomato puree, which is about a tablespoonful. We're going to add in about 50 ml of water. And we're just going to reduce the heat so that we can simmer it. So we're going to give it a nice stir here. Until it's all combined. We're going to add in a pinch of black pepper. And we're going to add in a pinch of mixed herb. Remember, a pinch is this. This pinch between our fingers. We're going to mix it, we're going to stir it. And we're then going to allow that to simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. The liquid will reduce and that will thicken the sauce. And that will have time to cook. So we're going to remember our pan handle's above the bench, we're using a wooden spoon, and we're just going to let that simmer for about 15 minutes. Remember, simmering is gentle bubbles. Gentle bubbles, not rapid large bubbles. As the water in the pasta starts to heat, you can start to see the steam come off, and then you just push the pasta down into the water. Once the pasta is into the water, we want to bring that to the boil, and then we want to cook that for about 8 to 10 minutes until the pasta is al dente. To test the pasta, we want to see if it's al dente. So pick a piece of pasta up out of the pan and then just pinch it between your fingers, and this will see whether it is al dente. So it's tender but not soft. It still has a bit of a bite to it. Now it's ready to drain it. When draining the pasta, make sure the colander is sitting in an empty sink. Nobody should be holding on to it. You're then going to pour the hot water and the pasta into the colander and allow it to drain. Nobody should be anywhere near it at this point for health and safety reasons. Then going to lift the colander back on top of the pan, and then we're going to pop it onto a pan stand to drain. To plate up our spaghetti bolognese, if we just use 2 forks and we lift our pasta and we place it into the bottom of the dish. Now we might not need it all. Next, we're going to spoon our bolognese on top, and we're going to aim for the centre. We always use a metal spoon to present, and we're just going to place it into the centre of the spaghetti bolognese. And there we have our delicious spaghetti bolognese, which then can be topped with a garnish. It could be parmesan, it could be herbs, it could be black pepper. and that's ready to eat. Delicious.